Psychological experiment reveals the best way to get people to cooperate with you. This is by Magda Osman and colleagues, The Conversation on Science Alert. Collective action is often the key to creating dramatic social or environmental changes, be it reducing pollution and waste, diminishing overfishing by sourcing alternatives, or getting more scientists to openly share their data with other scientists. Collective action, however, can involve social dilemmas. That's because the choice to act altruistically might come at some personal cost. To deal with such problems, cooperation and communication are key. Now, our new research published in Rationality and Society sheds some light on the best way to get people to cooperate in such situations. In the world of economics, decisions about cooperation are often studied in laboratory games, such as the prisoner's dilemma or the public goods game. The public goods game is one of the best examples of a cooperative setup. Participants have to secretly choose how many of their private tokens to put into a public pot, which everyone can benefit from. The interesting aspect of the cooperative situation in this game, and many others, is that it exposes each member of a group to uncertainty, which is the fundamental source of the social dilemma. Even if an individual member might cooperate by sharing their resources, they can't be sure if anyone else will. So if you cooperate, you're taking a chance, meaning the first move to cooperate can be viewed as altruistic. It might be disappointing to realize that others might not cooperate. This may prompt some to opt instead of freeload, which is to cooperate less or not at all, but still benefit from the potential cooperative actions of others. The first move to do so is viewed as selfish by scientists. So, what do people typically do in such situations? It depends on what other factors people take into account. For instance, the social status they have in the group, as well as the type of resources they are giving up. In reality, decisions of this kind are often made in situations that involve discussions with others. The communication aspect here can be crucial. Communication helps group members to size up the intentions of others and gives them a chance to persuade their peers to act cooperatively. However, this presents another form of uncertainty. We know that people don't always do as they say. For instance, they might be virtue signaling, talking in ways that promote themselves as virtuous and reputable without actually intending to cooperate. And talk is cheap. To look at the effects of communication on cooperation, we assigned 90 people to groups of 5. Each member of the group had to perform a task which was tied to money, squeezing a hand grip device multiplied times to get a small reward each time. Each member of the group had a choice to make, either keep the money for themselves each time, a free ride, or contribute it to the group pot, cooperate. Whatever money was in the group pot each time was multiplied by 1.5, so half more than what could be earned individually. Two other important elements of the experimental setup helped us to understand more precisely the influence of communication on cooperative behavior. Participants had to choose whether to cooperate under specific sets of circumstances. In the possible virtue signaling condition, each member had to state before they performed the task how many times they intended to share money they had earned, and were told that this information would be communicated to the rest of the group. In the money in your mouth condition, each member was told that the actual number of times they shared the money would be communicated to the rest of the group. In the flying blind condition, however, no information was communicated to the rest of the group. Once every member of the group had performed the actual task, all 5 members entered into a group chat online where they could discuss the task and the information, at least for 2 conditions, that was presented to them. After the group chat, they then performed the task again and were each paid the amount that they had personally earned, as well as the amount earned by the group. So what happened? People were much more likely to cooperate during the possible virtue signaling and the money in your mouth conditions than in the flying blind condition. So knowing that your intentions or actions would be passed on to the group made a difference. But how much of a difference was determined by what was discussed in the group chat? There was a direct relationship between how much the group reached a consensus to cooperate and how much they actually cooperated. In other words, when people said things that helped the group reach a consensus, they ended up acting cooperatively. Our study suggests that avoiding phrases that indicate hedging and equivocation helps people cooperate. Being vague about the extent of your intended contribution, I'll give more next time, and offering conditional contributions, I'll give more if everyone else does, will foster mistrust within your group and reduce people's sense of obligation. Ultimately, this will hinder the group's possibility to reach an agreement to cooperate. A better approach can be seen in the example is to be explicit and specify with the promises you make about your contribution. Green 1M, hi peeps, I hope you all acted altruistically and were not greedy. Scores on the doors tomorrow. Results revealed, group win. Group Green M2, hi guys. Green M2, that's a decent group score. Let's use it as a motivation to get a bigger pot. Green M1, ouch, 69 pounds out of a possible 120 pounds. Come on, people, add all the credits to the group pot and we get 1.5 times the amount for individuals. If we all do the same, we'll end up better off. Green 3F, hi all, that's an interesting figure. The task was surprisingly quick and easy. Not sure what I was expected though. Green M2, I agree with a C4R9. We should all think of the group in order to get a bigger amount. Green F4F, I am happy to add all credits to the group pot if everyone is in agreement. Green 1M, yay. Green 1M, all for one and one for all. Green 5F, hi everyone, hope you're all well. Really glad to hear everyone getting on board with putting all their squeezes into the group pot. This looks a really interesting study. I put in all of my 40 in the group pot in the first round, and we'll do so in the second round. I hope we can make it to the 120 pounds in the second pot, in the second round. Come on, everyone, let's band together and get the best possible outcome. So it's important to pose a direct question to the entire group, which asks about everyone's intended contribution. This encourages each member to make a commitment, and if someone evades a question, it's a useful signal. The communication style we use can also make a difference. Speaking in a way that signals solidarity and authority will strengthen the group's collective identity and establish a norm to cooperate. Humor and warmth help too. On the other hand, we found that groups that used more formal and self-interested communication styles, such as those associated with the world of business and politics, were less cooperative. In short, showing strong leadership through assertive statements, expressing encouragement through motivational phrases, and making people feel part of your group are good first steps in getting others to cooperate. This was by Magda Osman, Principal Research Associate in Basic and Applied Decision Making, Cambridge Judge Business School, and her colleagues. This is from the conversation under Creative Commons here on Science Alert. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.